Hi there, this is Jennifer with Brome Fields, and today I'm going to show you how I do this elongated shawl. I am using a super bulky yarn and a size 15 knitting needle. So I want it to be a nice bulky stitch. So I'm just going to do a little swatch about like this. And so so you can see it's a garter stitch. A swatch. I'm just going to show you how I cast on to increase and then to decrease. So to get started, I'm going to do one stitch and I just pull that through the loop. So I twist it around and pull. So with one stitch on the knitting needle, I'm going to increase one stitch. So I'm going to insert my needle as if to knit. I'm going to knit one stitch into the front of the stitch. I'm going to wrap my needle around and go back through to knit into the back of the stitch. So then I create two stitches. And then I'm going to knit 3 rows. So we have 3 rows in between each increase. So that's 1, 2. That looks a little squished up first. And then that is 3. Now we're going to increase. So increasing the stitch, so I always try to increase my first stitch versus the last stitch on every row so I don't forget. So I'll increase into the front and the back and then knit 1. So you always increase the first stitch and then knit the remainder of the row. And then we're going to knit 3 rows. So that was 1, 2, and 3. So when you increase a stitch, you get a purl stitch. So that way you can tell which side. You don't have a purl stitch, you have a knit stitch on that side and a purl stitch on this one. So that was the knit front and back created that purl. So we're going to increase one more stitch. So we have 4 stitches and then I'll show you the decrease. So we're going to knit into the front of that stitch, kind of twist it and go back through to knit into the back of it. So this is going to create this bar in the front. So this was the knit stitch and that's like a purl stitch. And then we're going to knit the remainder of the row. And you just keep repeating in this pattern until it's as wide as you want and about as long. And then we'll start our decrease. So this was knit 1 row, knit the second row, knit the third row, so now we're back on the side. So on this side, you could put like a little stitch marker or something on this side so you know which side to increase a stitch on. I'm going to take that. Yeah, there's a purl. Purl there and a purl there. So this is the actual purl row. So it's in between where the knit stitches should be. You'll have a purl stitch there. So now we're going to do the decrease. So we're going to knit this first stitch. So I always knit the first stitch to keep an even edge. So then we're going to slip, knit, pass the slip stitch over. So that second stitch is the one we're going to be decreasing. And then we'll knit the remainder of the row. And then knit 3 rows. when you have 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3. And of course you don't have to make this swatch with me, just watch the first half as you increase the stitches, and then when you're ready to decrease, come back and watch this, which is very handy. I've had to do that myself. So now we have 3 stitches. So we're going to knit this first stitch, and then we're going to slip, knit, pass the slipped stitch over, and then we're going to knit 3 rows because we want the beginning rows and the end rows to match. And that was 1. 2. 3. And now we have the 2 stitches, so we're going to slip that first stitch, knit the second stitch, and then pass that slipped stitch over. So that gives us our last stitch. And just kind of pull it, and then you can weave in the ends. So that way the beginning and the end look the same. So that's our middle row, our beginning, and our end. So that is it. That is how you increase your stitches until it's as wide as you want, and then you start your decrease. So I hope you guys enjoyed that quick little tutorial, and I'll see you guys again next time. Thank you so much for watching.